Hey guys and girls, will you look at this day? Will you look at this day? This water is like glass, as they say. It's dead calm. It is the end of February. That's right. I said the end of February. I've got a little jig on there, a little crappie magic jig. This is actually a crappie jig, but I'm using it for bass, whatever bites it. I don't care what bites it. I got a little lucky shad on there, and this is an unusual situation. It is forecast to be 76 degrees today. Now, that sounds pretty unusual for the Oklahoma, even southern Oklahoma where I live, but that sounds pretty unusual for February. Well, it is, but here's the deal. We had the coldest session in the last four or 5 days. We had 4 or 5 days where it never got above freezing, and many of the nights were down in single digits, 5, 6 degrees, 3, 4 degrees. Chill temperatures way below zero. The water is the coldest as it's been all winter, without a doubt. I hadn't even looked at it. Just put the boat in the water. It's water temperature is well, you know, it's 47 degrees. 47 degrees, that's really pretty warm. That's pretty warm. But we've had a pretty mild winter, but I thought it'd be a lot colder than that. 47 degrees, we're gonna catch them. I can tell you right now, we're gonna catch them. I thought that water temperature would be between 39 and 41, but it's 47 degrees because we had a 76 degree day yesterday as well, and it's warmed the water up on the surface. It's gonna start the fish to move in a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you how to find fish in the wintertime when the water gets the coldest that it's been all winter, which is what it is right now. Now, it's warmed up some. Yesterday would have been lower, I'm sure, by probably 4 or 5 degrees. But we're going to try a lot of different things. I'll probably slow roll a spinnerbait, you know that. I'm going to try shad, lucky shad like I've got right there. I might even try crankbait, but we'll tell you where to find the fish. That's probably the most important thing. And hopefully we catch some. Okay, right here is a perfect situation. You see this point here is coming in. There's a pocket there and a pocket over there, and this point coming right in here. This is about probably the third or the fourth point closest to the dam. You're better off probably if you're at the first or second point. But it depends on the type of lake. You know, a lot of times you have 4 or 5 points that are relatively close to the dam. They'll all be good. But fish the points on both sides of the dam. Now, usually one side might be a lot steeper than the other side. The other side might have a flat out in front of it. Now, those fish, if it's got a flat out in front of it, a lot of times they'll get out in that flat and just roam around. And honestly, just to be totally honest with you, you can't find them without a live scope. You just can't find them. And then that is all sight fishing. You're just looking at those fish and trying to find one. When you find one, you're bringing your lucky swim over the top of them. But what we're doing here is we're just fishing. And honestly, I've only seen one fish on that scope out in open water, and it was only about 5 foot deep, only about 5 foot deep. And what that fish is doing is soaking up some of the sunshine. I lost him before I got a cast at him. I had my boat way down there deep when I saw him, and he's swimming around real shallow, so he's probably pretty spooky. But if you can find them down there 10 or 15 foot deep, but I'm not seeing them. I mean, I'm not seeing them yet this morning. But that's a good thing because it probably means that the fish might be in the grass. Now, if you've got grass in your lake in the wintertime, those fish just do not leave that grass. They move around in different spots of it, and they'll get down right in the edge of it, and maybe as deep as it goes, but they're close to that grass. You can always guarantee that they're close to that grass. And when the water starts to warm up a little bit, now I was back in a pocket a minute ago when I was talking. The water temperature was 47 something. Out here it's 46 something. Now I saw something move up there, right up there. Now it could be some shad coming up to the top of the water, trying to soak up some of that sunshine as well. But it also could have been a turtle. No turtles out yet. Wasn't a turtle, could have been a duck or something, I don't know. All right, I'm at the last point. I'm not seeing hardly any fish. In fact, I'm seeing almost no fish. I'm catching no fish. I'm gonna lay this swim bait down. And those fish must be buried in that grass because I'm just not seeing them. Even when I look at the grass, I'm not seeing any fish. And I can watch my bait all the way back. I've had it down on the bottom. But sometimes if they're attached to the bottom, you can't see them. Because if you don't have a line scope, you're not seeing them anyway, so you're just fishing blind. But there's my bait coming back right at the top of the grass. So if they're down in that grass, right on the edge of that grass, you'd think that they'd come out of there and bite it. Not seeing any fish at all. I'm gonna make some noise. The way to make some noise is a big old Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait. I got one tied on somewhere. One of the things that makes a Legend spinnerbait better than any other spinnerbait of the same size is that one of the things that we've done with it is this is a Lucky Strike bait as well. This is a 1/2 ounce. It's a beautiful, beautiful bait. Got the beautiful red eyes in it. A great skirt on it. We put a larger blade. This is a one-side larger blade, both the inside blade, it's a willow leaf blade on the shaft. Early in the year, I like to fish 2 willow leaf blades. Not a Colorado on the shaft, but 2 willow leaf blades. But we've got says Jimmy Houston on it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I like that. But it's a larger size blade. We got this is a larger blade than you get on most 1/2 ounce baits. This is a blade you might get on a 3/4 or 5/8 or a 3/4 ounce baits. Sometimes even a 1 ounce bait's got that on there. But the next size up larger blade will allow you to catch bigger fish. I think even more fish. All right, so I'm going to create some noise. The way you create noise around the grass is with a blade. The blade will make some noise. You can still fish it very, very slow. Tick it over the top of that grass. Really, I've won a lot of money doing that. A lot of money doing that in the wintertime. Lakes like Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, Santee Cooper, Florida lakes. Ticking the top of that grass with that big spinner bait. Sometimes when get a whole lot of females that getting out and running around in front of the beds. You put a big plastic trailer on there, big white trailer, chartreuse trailer. I want to show you a couple other places to look in the wintertime. The points closest to the dam, though, usually hold the biggest fish. Oh, there's a fish. Bye. There's a fish. There's a fish. Slow rolling in the grass. First one of the day. 5 minutes till 12. First one of the day. 5 minutes till 12. Oh, thank you, Lord. I was beginning to believe I wasn't going to catch one. Boy, it's a nice one, too. Look at that fish. Look at that fish. Jimmy Houston. Legend spinner bait. 1/2 ounce. Big old willow leaf blades. Oh, I dropped off right there. That's a perfect catch right there. Well, I know one thing. You want to throw right back there in the same place again. Okay, I'm only in 8 foot of water, and the grass is coming up about. I have to move my locator. I've got it set on like 40 or 50 feet because I've been in all that deep water all day. He hit right close by the boat. Right close by the boat. So he came up to get that bait from down a little deeper, probably. That's a nice fish. Oh yeah, very nice fish. Do you swing that one, Jimmy? You lost the last one swinging him. Or you get back here and sit down like a sane person or a tournament fisherman. Look at that, isn't he pretty? Isn't he pretty? Oh yeah, I could swing him, no problem. No problem. That's the way the tournament guys do it. I never believed in grabbing a hold of that line like that. He's really not any bigger than the other one. It's pretty though, isn't he? Isn't that a beautiful fish? Golly, he's cold, he's so cold. He says, leave me out here in this warm sun for a minute, Jimmy. They're cold-blooded. Bass are cold-blooded, so their body temperature is whatever's around them, so he's probably enjoying that sunshine. Now, the other side of that coin is he can't breathe out of the water. But he can give me a little sugar. Yes. Okay, we're going to catch him on a spinnerbait. You know, I was just thinking, because after I caught that fish, I haven't caught one for about an hour. And I catch a lot today. I mean, if I catch 8 or 10 fish, it'd probably be really, really good. Now, they ought to bite better as the day goes on. I really believe that without a doubt. If you can only go fishing this time of the year, a few hours a day, work early in the morning, go at noon, fish till dark, especially if you have a bright sunshiny day like we've got right now. And a fish will come up on the top of that grass and lay around the top of that grass trying to soak up some of that sunshine, just like you and I do on a day like this. That's why I'm out here, is because it's 75 degrees. It's not that yet, but it's probably 70. Pretty doggone nice out here, I know that. Oh, I got him. I thought I missed him, but I got him. We're going to catch him. The bite, I don't know if it's going to get better during the day, but I think it will. Here's the other thing about catching them this time of the year. You see these 3 fish that I've caught? I mean, every one of them. Now, that is bigger than the other one that I got down there. I'm going to swing him. But, yeah. Look at that. That's what I'm barely hooked. Look at that. That's a 4.5 pound fish right there. Best one I've caught. Those others were about 2.5, 2 3/4. Slow rolling, a white spinnerbait. Or white legend spinnerbait. With these legends have a larger blade, not extra large blade, but one size larger than what normally comes on a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce spinnerbait. For early in the year like this, perfect. And you know, honestly, I like to fish a spinnerbait naked that doesn't have a trailer on there because I think you can cast it accurately. Cast it accurately is totally unimportant where I am right now, except if I see a fish on my scope, I need to be able to throw past that fish and come bring my bait over the top of him. I've seen a couple, but I've not caught them. But I'll be able to see more fish, I think, as the day goes on. Some of these fish will get out and they'll get on the top of that, be swimming around on top of that grass. Right now, I'm out in 10 foot of water now, but I'm in a big flat. You get in the big flats, and this is where you want to fish at Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, all of those. Any lakes that's got grass in it, get in flats, whatever. It doesn't matter how deep the flats are. What's the important thing is the grass. There's going to be fish in those grass. You know, they say there's some fish that stay shallow all year long no matter what. I don't know. When it gets really cold, I have a hard time catching any up shallow. God, looky there. I mean, that fish was in 2 or 3 foot of water. What does that tell you, boys and girls? I'm talking 2 or 3 foot of water. I'm talking Jimmy needs to start throwing up a lot more shallow. Come here, baby. Oh, come here, baby. I'll get up out of that boat. Oh, she choked it. I mean, she choked it. Looky there. She got everything but the blades in her mouth. Woo! Hey, a little breeze come up. That's a north bank that I just caught that fish off of. And the fish was only in maybe 3 or 4 foot of water. A beautiful bass. It's a male bass, not a girl. I said she choked it. It's a male bass. But a nice male bass, a good one. All right, we're going to catch them. They're going to get better as the day goes on. Trust me. Probably if we catch any up shallow like that, they're probably going to be males and not females. The females will probably still be out here in the deeper grass, come up out of that deeper grass. I'm going to get back up. Oh, I think it was a bite right there. Not 100%. Yeah, it was a bite. He come back and got it. I missed him first time. I'm on spot lock right here. That fish was relatively shallow, but he's probably over about 6 or 7 foot of water. Oh, nice one. Ooh, I mean a nice one. Come here, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Woo, looky there. Look at that. Oh, that's a male fish right there. That's just a big old male. I mean a big old male. Boy, he choked it too. That's a big old fish right there. Look at that. That probably was not the same fish because actually I made a cast right back where I bit that fish bit. I spot lock down. That's what you want to do. Is you always want to spot lock. If you miss a fish, especially if you catch a fish, and we got a little bit of breeze coming up, not much, just nice little waves on top of the water, just enough to make it really should help the fishing. And the water temperature has now risen above 50 degrees. It was 46 this morning, which is warmer than I thought it would be. But that 76-degree day yesterday, it is amazing what this water temperature does. When you start having these real pretty days and the sun starts shining down on that water, and that south wind starts blowing up water on the surface up against that north bank, that water becomes really warm quick. And it's like a magnet for those fish, like a magnet. Now, this is February. They're not going in there to spawn. They're going in there just because of the warm water. Just want to warm their bods up a little bit. That's one of the reasons I'm out here, to warm my bod up a little bit. Yeah. Another one on spot lock. That's why you spot lock right there. Oh, that's a good one. Another nice one. That's not as big as that last one. Well, he was pulling like, might have got down in the grass a little bit on me. Actually, that's the smallest one I've caught all day. That's a nice one though. Nothing wrong with that fish at all. And that's another male, I believe. Yeah, that's a male there as well. That's just nice size males. I think the eggs aren't very well developed right now. The fish have eggs in them now, I'm sure. I haven't filleted any. I don't have any first-hand knowledge of that, but they should have eggs in them right now. The eggs are not going to be very well developed, but you'll see a little bit of belly on them, I think. It's a little bit more than what's just a natural belly. Spot lock bass. Spot lock or power pole down. If you're in shallow enough water, power pole. If you're out deeper, spot lock. And really comb the area well when you catch one, because one of the things that happens is these fish will come up 2 or 3 or 4 at a time a lot of times. If you just keep pounding that area, you get it close to another one and it'll bite. Keep in mind now, I've missed a fish here too, so there's a fish here that hit my bait that I didn't catch. So that fish might, now those 2 fish there weren't anywhere near close together. They were like probably 30, 40 foot difference down the bank. But now these fish are moving around a lot. They're swimmers, so they're swimming around a lot. There he is. They're right down in that grass. If you just pound enough of that grass, kick enough of that grass, keep that bait running over the top of it. As the day goes on, the bite's getting better. We're catching fish now. We went hours this morning. We went up till almost, from early morning till almost noon before we ever had a bite. And we're in the right type areas, doing the right type things. But you notice that when I catch them up smaller, the majority of them are being males. That's a male right there. That's a nice chunky male, good sized male, but a male. That's all right, I'll take them too. That's just fine. I'll get my reel out of my shirt. Oh, there he is. Boy, he thumped it nice. Nice. That fish was relatively shallow. That's kind of like mid-range. It's a nice one. It's probably going to be a female there. That's a nice fish. As we moved into the afternoon hours, we never caught but I think one fish right before noon, maybe like 5 minutes till 12 or something. I don't remember exactly, but it's like right before noon we caught one fish. This might be a big one, I don't know. I mean, it's really pulling. It feels real heavy. He's sort of dogging, so a lot of times those real big ones do that. He's pretty nice, but he's not a giant. He's just like kind of like a lot of those others. Spot lock. Spot lock, spot lock, spot lock. Come here, baby. Oh, I should just lift you in. You're not as big as I thought he was. I've lifted several in like that, nice solid 3-pound bass. Big old Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait by Lucky Strike. You know, I've gone for about an hour now without a bite when I caught that one right there. I'm thinking about picking a red man up and throwing it and see if maybe you can catch them just as good or maybe better on that smaller spinnerbait. That's one of the things that you want to do when you're spinnerbait fishing. If you're fishing with a low profile bait, a small profile bait, like a red man, and then and you're catching them or you're not catching them, is go ahead and move to one that's exactly opposite of that. A bigger bait, a bigger profile. Maybe you're throwing a single Colorado blade, and you move to 2 twin. So if I pick a red man up, and I know I've got one tied on, you know I've got one tied on. If I pick a red man spinnerbait up and start throwing it right now, would I catch more? Would I catch less? Would I catch any? It's something that you really need to do. Obviously, when you do that, though, I'm able to throw that bait for an hour. I was just about thinking about picking that red man up when I got that bite. So you could go an hour and not get a bite with the red man and think, well, and you might doing that if they don't hit that small profile bait. If they don't do that, you might have passed up catching 2 or 3 fish too. It's always a good idea to keep fishing whatever you're catching them on. But if you're really trying to learn, if you're really trying to figure things out and figure out what's the best, you need to change, especially if you want to be a really good spinnerbait fisherman. Just try a lot of different possibilities. Blades, configurations, colors, wire configurations. There he is. Oh, right in the middle of that pocket. Right in the middle of that little pocket. This afternoon is sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. It's 75 degrees also. February. After the cold front of the year. I'm out here catching nice, good quality bass. How sweet it is. Does it get any better than that? Does it get any better than that, or does it get any better than that? Look at that. Is that precious? Wow. 3.5 pounds. My goodness. Come here, baby. Woo. That one's right in the middle of the gut. Now that's something too. You find a little gut. I don't want to go back in the pockets or anything this time of the year, but you find a spot where you're going down the bank and it's kind of a little, not a pocket, but just a little indention in the bank, and there's sort of a little alleyway that comes out in the middle of it. It's a little bit deeper than everything else. Still got grass in it, but it's a little bit deeper. And I came right down the dead center of that. And now that's a really, really good pattern early in the springtime. Is right down the center of those. In fact, back in the pockets that go back up in there, is get back in there and fish right down the dead center of it, out when it's about 8, 10, 12 foot deep, all the way to the back in the dead center of it. And a lot of times bass will use that alleyway at the deepest part to move up into that pocket to spawn or whatever they may be going up into the end of that pocket for. That one was right in the dead center of this little gut. Wow, there's a fish. Whoa. I thought that was a small one, but boy, I mean, he took off. It's another good one. Golly, these things are strong. I mean, they're pulling like crazy. Every one of them, I think, is a 5-pounder. Only one of them's been a 5-pounder. This might be a 5-pounder too, though. I don't know. Let me tell you what I've got right here. I've caught the last 4 or 5 fish. You remember earlier I was up in that little pocket, and I caught that one right in the middle of that pocket. I'm further out in the lake, but I think I'm still in the little ditch. The little ditch is right up in front of me. Another nice big fish. Come in on this boat with me. But I think I'm throwing and coming right through that ditch, and that ditch probably has no grass down in it. One of the things that you want to look for in the grass when you're fishing in the grass is look for a bare spot. Look for a spot where you got a lot of grass and you got a little patch that may be as big as this boat, might be 10 times as big as this boat, maybe it's half as big as this boat, but where there's no grass. Maybe rocks are growing there, or maybe it's a little deeper is the reason that the grass is not growing there. But look for those little bare spots. When you find those little bare spots, sometimes, I found them in tournaments. Oh, Jimmy, what a cast. I found them in tournaments and pulled in there and caught 8 or 10 fish on 8 or 10 straight casts. And boy, that's really nice when that happens. Right now is the best fishing of the whole day. Best fishing of the whole day. How big is this guy? I don't know. Come to the surface, but they won't jump. The water's too cold, they won't jump. He come up the surface like he's gonna jump, splashing around on top of the water. Pretty big fish. Pretty big fish. That might be the big fish of the day. I don't know. He pulled a little drag right then. When he took off that last time, he pulled a little drag. No, he's about like that other one. Jimmy, you're gonna break your rod. Break your rod doing that. Bouncing around on the side of the boat. That's another 6-pounder. Boat flipping 6-pounders. This morning, I was getting down and landing 2.5-pounders, 3-pounders by hand. A boat flipped 2 6-pounders. Golly. Who needs minnows when you have a Lucky Strike Legend spinnerbait? My gosh. Isn't that something? This water, when we was here, we're fishing, one of the spots we was fishing this morning, the water was 45 degrees. And we caught a couple right here, but that's all we caught. The water's 49 degrees here right now. So it's come up 5 degrees today. Now we found a couple places where it'd come up 10 degrees. The coldest water we've seen today has been 42 degrees. The warmest water has been 51. Water temperature is the key earlier in the year. If you're fishing those places where the water is cold, usually that'll be on the south shorelines, because that sun goes across on the southern horizon. It goes east to west, we all know that, but it stays in the south, so it's shining most of the time on the northern shorelines. When you have the warm day, prevailing south wind, it's going to blow that warm surface water up on the top to what's warming up with that sunshine. It warms up fast like a windshield on a car, and that warm water blows over on the north bank. Those fish just come up on that north bank, going around, looking around. Where is that Jimmy Houston spinnerbait? Where is that bait? Where is that bait? That's what they're doing right now. Oh, there's one. Oh, I'm getting me a kiss.